Tonight, we're going to open your eyes to something that's going on all around us, and yet most of us are unaware. You're about to meet four unforgettable kids who say they had no choice but to leave home. But not for any of the reasons you might imagine. They're not bad kids. No one was kicked out for drug abuse. And yet, as you'll see, they are all homeless, part of a huge population of kids that have been cast off. Come and find out why these kids are in a desperate search for what most of us take for granted.
Well, what's the difference between allowing somebody to, to speak to the camera and then I go home and edit what is said versus you guys making it? I mean, what's the difference?
Basically, if you experience it firsthand, then you can probably make a better film than someone who's just like recording it.
Jonathan Rivera and his partner Yolma Salcido have been living in a city homeless shelter for 2 months with 4-year-old Yolani and 4-month-old Angel. But now the Department of Homeless Services is kicking them out with less than a day's notice.
All they said is that, I'm sorry, we can't help you, you have to leave.
So what are you going to do now?
No idea. No idea. No clue.
Why could somebody experiencing it make a better film than somebody who's not experiencing it?
Because you're basically showing the whole process. You're not showing it, how people only show scene by scene type of thing. You're showing the whole process from beginning to end.
Probably more emotion than the other person would have if they haven't been through it before. So if you actually have some anger or something about it, you would feel a way, which would show through what you're doing.
Good.
It's not like, I'll make an example.
Sorry.
I'll make an example. There's a plane crash. The person records it from the outside, looks one way. Someone recording it from the inside is a totally different scene. Like, you have people in the plane running around screaming and everything. People thinking they're about to die. That's one thing. Outside, you're like, oh my gosh, the plane's crashed.
Like, who's in control of editing? The films that I made, you guys, Shamel spoke, Tyler spoke, it was their words, but I cut it up. What's the difference there between me cutting it, me choosing what gets said, and you guys? Wesley?
Because when the person is speaking to you, there's certain messages that they're trying to get, and it can probably get, that can end up getting cut out if you didn't know any better at the time, you know what I mean? So if they're the ones cutting it, then they're the ones telling you what they want you to hear, the point they're trying to get across.
Excellent. Anybody else?
Because when somebody else, yourself as an example, you chop up the pieces that, I don't know how you do it, but most of the time other people, they'll chop up something that would fit in and that they would think that would fit for that person for other people to explain. If we was to get a chance to edit it, we'll be able to actually feel what would be more important and actually get to choose and put that into what we work on.
Good. Yeah.
Like, it all depends on where and what you're watching. Because certain media stations will not show you the whole thing or will not say the whole thing. They will only give you partial of the actual truth. So it basically all depends on where you look and how much you actually try to look into the thing. They figure if you don't see it, you don't believe it. And that is partly true. If you don't see something, you honestly don't believe it. No matter how much it tries to tell you or convince you, everybody believes on only what they see.
Let's continue our conversation about what media is.
Okay. You wanna go?
Yeah.
Okay. So it could be a lot of events happening in one day. It could be about several events happening in one day, but only a couple actually get reported from each news station.
What are you talking about?
The news being biased.
Like stuff being withheld?
Yeah.
Oh.
Good. Yeah. Other thoughts? Do you have something else?
Some things may be more important than others that they won't report. Or there may be like I just said, Tyler just pointed out, some things that aren't reported. Like situations, like say somebody gets shot and then it's a brutal stabbing. They're gonna put the person getting shot because, say, like it's a rich person walking in Lower Manhattan or something like that, getting shot, and it's a black person in the neighborhoods where people tend to get shot. They're not gonna put the neighborhood where people tend to get shot on the news. They're gonna put the wealthy person on the news because he seems more important than that other person.
Because it doesn't happen often.
Exactly.
There should be a word that somebody got shot in the neighborhood.
So how do we feel that as a whole? How do you feel represented on the news? Like that's what I really want to know, and that's what these films are going to be about. How as youth you all are represented by media.
I feel that in the media, teens, black, white, or Puerto Rican, they're represented as the next criminal. They're not really appraised for them helping out, doing community service, working hard. They focus more on the negativity that they do.
I didn't think about it.
What else? What do you guys think? You guys agree with that?
Yeah.
That oftentimes youth of color are shown in this light of criminality.
Yeah, like we are portrayed as violent people because of the things that happen in our neighborhoods that don't tend to happen in other places.
I said they think that we're all how some people are. Like some people kill people, sell drugs. They think that we're all like that. And some of us, they really don't know that not all of us are like that.
The human pack. Profiling would be a big issue.
Yeah.
Once I get my computer. Reasonable suspicion of criminal activity. Stops and frisks do not reduce crime and occur at an alarming rate in communities of color, who often feel under siege and harassed by the police. That sounds very familiar.
So what am I looking up?
You're looking up the political issues that we just discussed in the room and the things that are a big issue in our modern day society.
Habeas corpus. Oh, habeas corpus, that's that law there.
Like the representation of homeless youth in the media.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that ring a bell?
It's starting to come back. Okay, what I meant by incorporating, what I meant altogether by media representation when it comes to homeless and unaccompanied youth, the term homelessness has its own definition to everybody when you mention it. So, if you could actually give a different perspective of being homeless in the education system in New York City, a lot of people would be aware because some people don't know. And you could actually brighten up somebody's understanding or somebody's sight of being homeless in high school or school in general.
And what are you thinking? What type of media? Are you thinking video?
Yeah.
All right. How are you going to approach it?
Like interviews.
Interviews.
About people who actually, the situation actually happened to them.
Okay. More in the frame, more out of the frame, and then move this to kind of.
It looks like an eye going like this.
And yeah, you can move it up and down if you want to, wherever you want.
Yeah. Don't look at my facial hair.
More like that, more like that. So you get your board.
What is the topic that you want to be talking about?
The topic that I would like to talk about and approach is the reputation that the media portrays on homelessness in its entirety on youth.
What do you expect the project to resolve?
I expect the project to resolve the stigmas and the negative feedback that a lot of people in a homeless situation actually get. And I hope that actually brings the reality of homelessness to light.
Who are you going to try to talk to get this information?
I'm going to try to talk to people that work in the Board of Education, people that I know personally that dealt with students in a temporary housing situation, and a couple of people actually temporarily housed.
Did you start, do you at least try to talk to people to start the project?
I just came up with the idea today, but I have an idea what I can do. I already have an outline planned out in my head.
Good.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
You ready?
Yep.
All right. He's writing down some last minute questions for you.
All right, no problem.
What are some facts about being in the temporary housing system? What are some actual truth behind the whole term temporary housing?
Temporary house? Well, temporary house is defined as kids or families who are in temporary housing situations due to domestic violence, economically disadvantaged. Their permanent housing has been lost for a number of reasons. It could be fire, it could be foreclosure. So whatever that situation is, families go into temporary housing situations a lot of times to no fault of their own, or just the economic situation.
Okay. Now, as a people, and off the level of you being a content expert, you being a person and a citizen of New York City, how do you look at the representation of the term homelessness as a person?
I guess prior to working in this position, homelessness was something very different to me.
What are some benefits, if you can name any, from the students that you work with about being in the temporary housing system or being homeless?
I don't know if I'd necessarily say benefits. I don't know how to really contextualize that. I do have to say that this position has allowed me to meet some of the most resilient young people I've ever met. People who wake up every day with a challenge that they're facing, and the challenges range from something small to something very large. And homelessness sometimes plays a big factor, sometimes it's a small factor, but I have been fortunate to meet a large number of kids who just inspire me in terms of their determination to get through school, their determination to have a better tomorrow, their determination to want to be successful despite what they're facing, whether that means they're parentified young people where they're taking care of younger siblings, they're advocating for their parents, they're traveling from Brooklyn to Staten Island to go to school. I've just met some really resilient young people that I've had the honor of working with. They inspire me looking at them, and then when I have my little foolish challenges, I have to say, you know what I'm dealing with pales in comparison, so you just got to do what you're doing. Suck it up.
Okay. Well, Mr. Renier, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Definitely a pleasure speaking with you.
And they're like 8 seconds, 9 seconds, like these two.
Oh yeah. So I'll do it all. Oh, okay. It's probably it is uploaded. It's just not uploaded. Yeah.
I'm just looking at my.
For tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I need my measure card to get it.
The bigger girl. He
It's the
has one of those. He found out he doesn't
you lost it.
them doing their thing. Because
But then it
I think they have amazing
afterwards.
ideas.
No, it doesn't.
Like, I mean,
No.
Tyler came up with an idea.
Unless you have to write her own
Visual.
file.
What he wants to do is mostly audio.
Now when I do it,
That's somebody's Wi-Fi name, Go Yankees.
Because he
Yeah,
came in
it times
with
out.
his
I don't know
song
why.
his
That's
bag
right.
like that.
This is
He's like
spelled Yankee
around
Stadium.
being like POV.
Yeah, Yankee
it's
Stadium.
like in